Hey guys, it's
Tick
and Tech, and welcome back to Lifeless Planet. Oh, the sun just came back out.
I heard the rain. Is that rain?
I got no clue.
Maybe it's wind. I don't know. Sounds like rain.
I can't hear anything.
Friggin'
I don't know if it's because I'm disconnected or
Dude,
my thing died.
my headphones are dying.
I know.
When we were halfway through the last episode, freaking, oh god, that was a lot of text. Basically, when we were halfway through that last one, my headphones are like, you have less than an hour left. So, my headphones may just cut out eventually. And we just spent a bunch of time talking. So.
It's true. We
just finished the last episode talking about, like, Stargate and stuff. And then we moved on to other TV shows, like South Park and the like.
Yeah, and we were talking about getting all of the South Parks. There's 25 seasons currently.
That was if we couldn't stream them.
Yeah, but I have my girlfriend's dad pays for freaking
all of the streaming services.
Yeah, and they have HBO Max, which apparently is the only one that's streaming it, but I don't have to pay for it, so we could just stream it off of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to pay like $150 to get the first 20 seasons.
No, it was like $130 for the first 20 seasons.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think that's too bad.
It's not.
Like,
it's definitely
for fucking 20 seasons. Again, 5 seasons is a lot. Just a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it would take us a long time, especially because we'd only be able to do it on the weekends,
and we have to record that.
Yeah, so we'd basically spend most of Sundays streaming it, or any extra time that we felt like it.
Yeah, but also we might get stuck with Connor on Sundays.
But he
was like, but that's not right. That's bad, right? Like, I was playing Assassin's Creed, and he's all like, freaking, no, it's bad that he's telling them to rest in peace because they're bad people. And if you tell somebody who's like a pedophile to rest in peace after you killed them, right, then you're just as bad as that pedophile.
Ah, yes,
right?
That makes sense.
No, dude, he's saying it to their corpse. It's showing respect for the dead. It doesn't matter what they did. Respect their corpse. I'm like, you gonna go and fuck a pedophile's corpse? No, right? You're gonna fucking respectfully bury it in the ground or cremate it, right? You're not going to go and rape his body and then throw it in the river, right? And he's like, no, it's bad. You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, I don't care, dude. Let me enjoy my game. Ezio's a chiller dude than you, and he murders people for a living. Okay? Just fuck off.
Just, freaking... Yeah, you're as bad as a pedophile if you respect a dead pedophile.
Yeah, you're worse than a pedophile if you're like, oh, but he did his time. You're just as bad as a pedophile if you're like, oh, I know pedophiles exist, yet I'm not going to go and kill all of them. It's basically like the energy he has sometimes, and it's horrible.
He's not out killing pedophiles.
No, he's not. He's out preaching and trying to change pedophiles. He's trying to be a conversion camp over here. That's only for gay people, according to him. So
What?
A conversion camp?
Oh yeah, so he's...
do you not know what that is?
No, I know what a conversion camp is.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I can explain it.
But like, he's trying to convert gay people?
Yeah. Look at that dragonfly. He's gonna shit on your screen.
It's a very skinny dragonfly.
Yeah. Dude, freaking... In Pueblo, on the job site a lot, we'll see dragonflies that are like this long, and like their bodies are like this thick around.
Jeez.
Like they're just fucking big ass dragonflies, and I can see them from on the roof over by the road, and I can't see shit.
Jeez.
Freaking. Right, I was gonna explain Rods from God to you. Basically, Rods from God was a proposed theoretical weapon, right? Like the gay bomb. Okay. That was never actually made because the logistics of firing this weapon and like missing with this weapon and reloading this weapon and stuff, right, are just like impractical, right?
Okay.
But basically, it would take 6 tungsten rods that are like 4 meters long or something ridiculous, right? Which honestly doesn't sound like much.
No.
Right. But also it doesn't need to be much because they're dropping it from orbit, and so they drop it from like outer orbit. And freaking cool. But basically, they take these tungsten rods and freaking like drop them from space, and it's just a freaking mass. It's a matter-based like tactical nuke, basically. So
Okay.
no radioactive fallout, right? And it can very precisely wipe out city blocks, right? But like it was never built because like how are we gonna reload this weapon? Are we just gonna load tungsten rods onto a rocket and launch them into space? No, that's ridiculous. Right? We're not gonna be able to do that. And so they didn't build it because of that. And then like, what if you miss? Right? You're aiming for a military compound, and you miss by 2 feet in space. Right? That's hundreds of thousands of miles. You just hit a school. You just leveled a hospital.
Yeah.
You just annihilated a civilian populace.
Yeah.
What are you going to do then? Right? The fallout from that would be insane. Right? So they didn't build it because of that either.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
And like, again, how would you aim a weapon like that? Like, can I just fly with this thing?
Try. Seems
Kinda.
like- Can you hold it?
No. I tried it already. Okay, just get a picture. Let's see. Where are we going? This way?
That's the real question. Where are you going?
This way?
Oh, so how are you enjoying the game so far?
Honestly, I am enjoying it. It's pretty good. It's just a cute little. Boop, 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 boop,
Yep.
boop, boop, boop.
Just do a little thing. Game. Holy shit, you're dead.
I did not expect that.
No, I'm either. Dead.
But like, and it's a nice game. It's like we're talking about rods from God and fucking Firefly, and
Yeah.
you know, we're just having nice conversations. You know?
Yeah, 'cause there's not really a lot that seems to be like.
Happening.
Yeah, you just run around, doing the thing.
Okay, so I have a certain number of before
Ah.
I just explode, basically. So I can't just fly with it, but that's all right.
Yeah, you know, it's fine.
It'd be cool if I could, but I can't. So it's not a big deal. Oh yeah,
Oh.
I'm amazing.
That was
Look at the
close.
dick on this man.
Even though I'm pretty sure you could have jumped on top.
Oh
of
yeah,
the other
probably.
one. You think you should go there or?
I think I should go over here. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Now over here.
Oh.
No, I'm not high enough for this.
Nailed it.
Ayo. Shut the fuck up, Steve.
I feel like Connor doesn't get to enjoy a lot of shows anymore.
No, because he's just like, no, that's wrong. Or like, he started doing this before he got all religious too, where he's like, no, that doesn't make sense. I don't like this because it's dumb, basically. And like, it's so sad because I can't sit down and watch a show with him anymore because he's like, this is unrealistic and this is why this sucks and I don't want to watch this anymore. And he just fucking say, I can't just sit and watch a show anymore.
Can't just enjoy it because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't like this because it's not good. It's bad, and this is why it's bad. And it's
And
like,
then
I
he'll
don't
go on a
care.
religious
Fucking
rant.
yeah, it's like fucking just. It's a show. Extend your
It's not
disbelief
real.
a little bit. It doesn't matter. This is like
It's not real.
Double Rainbow. It's like hyper unrealistic reality where it's like, oh yeah, it's like this makes sense. And it does. In universe, it makes perfect sense. He's like, well, it doesn't in ours. I'm like, I don't care about ours. We're not talking about ours. We're talking about their universe.
It's a
And in
fucking
their
show, man.
universe, it makes sense. So it doesn't matter what you think.
Uh,
I had to explain Magic Mountain to him the other day.
yeah.
I was playing Celeste, and he's like, how does this work? I'm like, Magic Mountain. He's like, okay, that doesn't make sense because Magic Mountains don't exist. I'm like, they do in universe. Fucking leave my games alone.
Why can't you just accept that these games don't exist in our world in terms of like actual functionality?
Right.
Like, I mean, because like once you start like thinking like that, you literally just can't enjoy anything.
Right.
Because it's like the whole point of the shows and the stories and the games
Is to be ridiculous and
yeah.
over the top and
Yeah,
dumb.
Is to
And, like,
experience something that isn't our world, that couldn't
Right.
exist, that couldn't happen.
it's escapism.
Yeah,
Don't look down.
because it's like it's just it can't happen. But that's the point.
Yeah.
Like this probably can never happen. I mean, it's not impossible for this.
It's just unlikely that we'll ever see something like this.
yeah, but that doesn't mean that the game is stupid and it shouldn't exist. Because
Right.
the whole point is to play a game. is to, I mean, you get a good story, but also the experience in it is nothing like you'll ever experience.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you guys to play like Hollow Knight. It's like,
Yeah.
it's an experience. The story doesn't make sense unless you know, and like, that's why you have someone who does know.
Yeah, but
right?
also it just can't exist, so I hate it.
Yeah, it's like, freaking, it's just to have a good time, experience the world. I want you to go explore the world, because it's fucking great.
But see, the thing
And,
is it sounds like Connor doesn't have like a limit, you know, like a if it's too unrealistic, he'll accept it. He doesn't feel like he has that, but if it's like too
or if he
close
cares
to
about it, because like me and him argue about stupid shit like freaking. He's like, no, female space marines can't exist in any other universe. I don't care what you say, right? I'm like, okay, well, in their universe, in an alternate reality of their universe, right? Female space marines exist. It doesn't matter what you say. That's just a headcanon, and like it's totally possible. He's like, no, we never heard of them. It doesn't work. And then he gets mad about it. I'm like, okay, you can't like extend disbelief a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, so they made female space marines in their own personal thing that doesn't affect the actual canon at all. So it doesn't matter, right? And he's like, no, it does matter. They shouldn't do that because the original canon exists. I'm like, no. It's not how that works.
But also, the whole thing just can't happen, so you might as well just hate it because
yeah, exactly.
It can't exist because freaking demons and
right.
those freaking space demons. And
he's like, yeah,
orcs
space marines
and
are
shit.
awesome, but then he doesn't like me, freaking like he doesn't like Dark Souls lore or whatever, and like some other stuff like that I care about. He just dismisses it. He's like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to like it because it doesn't exist.
It's not real.
Basically,
It's not realistic enough. But then he likes like Halo. You know?
yeah, and then he enjoys Halo, and then he'll argue with me about the lore of Halo too. I'm like, what if this? And he's like, no, that can't happen. That's it. It can't happen.
It's kind of funny because the whole religious thing has just like amplified his closed-mindedness.
Yeah.
Because he's always been closed-minded.
Oh yeah.
But like it seems like it's just gotten worse, where he just refuses to accept anything outside of his own like decisions.
Freaking, it's also worse for me because like before he just like jokingly like, yeah, whatever, Brandon, and then just dismiss me, right? Which annoying
is lame,
and
but...
it hurts, but like whatever, right? Whereas
but
like
feelings, whatever.
Yeah, like I have feelings too, dude. I'm not a robot, but like with you, he's like, okay, because you're Thomas, you're a more reliable source, even though Brayden knows more about this.
Yeah.
Which is super annoying to me. Because I'm like the expert when it comes to weird shit like Rods from God, or Magic Mountains, or game lore. And he freaking...
Just take my word over it.
He'll just take your word over mine, just because you're you.
He's already got it set in his mind that that I'm just more believable. But
or
not because I
something.
know anything. Maybe it's just my like either past established mindset with him, or like I just have like my charisma just is different, and so it like just exudes a bit more like believability for no reason.
I don't know, man. I'm also a great liar, right?
Right.
And which should help me in most cases because like freaking I can convince people that ridiculous shit happened, especially if they weren't there, or they were there but weren't like mentally present, right? Like I once convinced my cousin that she fell off the bed in the middle of the night, right? That she did this thing and she didn't wake up, and I just gaslighted her into believing this fucking thing, and I was just convincing enough, I guess, and she just believed me, right? So like I don't understand why Connor just doesn't like.
Maybe he's just probably set like because he's just decided, you know, Brayden doesn't know anything, or he's full of shit all the time. So don't believe anything he says, and so now he just refuses to change his mindset.
Of the two of us, you're way more full of shit.
It's true.
Literally, you're so full of shit. We didn't believe you when you said you were engaged. Okay, I straight up said, no, he is bullshitting us. It's that tone of voice he uses when he's fucking around, alright? It didn't happen, and I straight up didn't believe you.
You had to go ask Shay.
Yeah, freaking, because you're so unreliable as a source, like 90% of the time.
But I've established my knowledge or my believability in Connor's mind.
I guess.
And it just that's it. And now he's set in his way, and so it just becomes that is the reality, just all the time for no reason.
Yeah.
And then you've established somehow that you don't know anything about anything
except for game lore, and then even then,
it's
sometimes he's like, sometimes it's like, no, it's not real. You're wrong.
And so like,
even though like
he'll just
spent hundreds of hours in the game, who actually cares about the lore of this thing?
Yeah, but like. Yeah, he would believe me over something that I know nothing about, and you know everything about. He'd believe me over you.
Yeah, I could literally have a master's in rocket science. And you're like, no, rockets don't work that way. And he'd believe you over me.
He'd be like, that checks out.
I'm like, I could show you the math of why this works and why it's good. And you'd be like, no.
No,
and he would just believe your no versus my hard evidence.
Yeah. I just refuse. But it's just set in his ways now. Like, that's just like one of those things where it's like, as he's gotten older, his closed-mindedness has just taken root harder, and so now anything that he just deems a way is just infinitely that way. Even if you, because like it used to be like
empirically prove that that's not that way. It used to be like,
oh, show me proof, and then I'll believe you. But now it's like, even if you show him proof, if it goes against the way he thinks it should work, it doesn't matter.
Freaking, when we're talking about like string theory or the multiverse theory or whatever, I'm like, okay, so there are like two really high levels of science you can get, alright? Laws, like the law of gravity, where it's like, this is observable by everybody all of the time, no matter what, right?
Right.
Which is completely different than a theory. A theory is basically like, yes, this is confirmed mathematically.
Yeah.
If you have the right credentials, anybody with those credentials can get to the same conclusion over and over and over again, and it happens throughout the ages, right? And he's like, no, it's a theory, so it doesn't exist and it's wrong. That's his fucking argument, is it's a theory, even though, like, if you look up the scientific definition of theory, I'm right, and it's basically the highest praise you can receive from anybody. You know?
Yeah. So, because there are just some things we can never, like, make into, like, a law. Because it's just one of those things where it's like, it's a thing, we have the thing that says it's a thing, it checks out every time. But,
like, we can't empirically prove it because we can't observe it.
Yeah, we can't make it happen.
Mathematically, this is the way it works. And math is just how we disassemble the universe around us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, we can be wrong. Freaking everybody's wrong sometimes. It's not that big of a deal. It changes the way we look at things when we discover, like, quirks. Freaking, when we discovered quirks, like, that was a huge thing because we didn't think anything was smaller than an atom until we found quirks. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, you're just gonna say quirks don't exist even though we have found them and can empirically prove they exist?
Yeah.
Just because nothing is smaller than an atom?
But so it's weird.
Yeah.
Connor's special.
Yeah. He's really sad. And he makes me really depressed sometimes. Because, like, we'll be talking about something, like, the whole, which Greek deity, or which, what god do you think you could take in a fight?
All
of them, because they're wooden fit.
They don't
Shut the fuck up, Connor! It doesn't matter if they're real or not. That has no bearing on this conversation at all.
They're not real, so all of them.
If they're real, so what? If they're not real, so what? It doesn't change the fact that I'm asking you, could you fight Zeus at his full power and come out on top?
Yes, because his full power is nothing.
Because he's a wooden figure. Yeah, I don't care what you think, Connor. That has nothing to do with this.
Well, see, because basically that plays into his dislike for unrealistic situations in games now.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, that's not a real thing. So, in like a real thing in our universe, so it doesn't matter what it is. Because I'm just immediately going to transfer it to our universe rules. But,
No? It's just really slow. Okay, I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, but the thing is doesn't he read a lot of, like, fictional, like, stuff?
And he's like, I don't like Zion novels, because they're like, isekais, where it's like, person is just God now. Right?
Okay.
Like, he's like, I don't like it because of this, but then he likes, like, isekais like freaking Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation.
Yeah.
Freaking that one's really good, and he enjoyed that, even though it's like, yeah, the main character's really fucking strong. He's way stronger than any 10-year-old has any right to be. Yeah. And like he's literally so good at magic, and he's self-taught that he can teach other people, right?
But it's just like, because he likes to read these stories that can't exist in our universe.
Yeah,
but
like,
he chooses to hate on everything else, like movies and games that do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they can't exist, they can't happen, but also, I like this book that definitely couldn't happen.
I like this book that makes less sense than the movie I'm talking about. And, like, we watched Alien vs. Predator, right?
Uh-huh.
And he didn't have a problem with that. That was the wrong button. Sorry, that was my bad. He didn't have a problem with that at all. And he's like, yeah, this is the lore. I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but, like, doesn't exist. I should have said that.
Yeah,
like,
you should be fucking petty as hell.
I should fucking be petty as shit, but I'm not.
Yeah, because it's just like, it's fun. And I guess it's at the point where if you can get anything out of him that's fun to talk about, you might as well just
Take it, yeah.
Take what you can get at this point, because he's probably just going to hate on everything else forever now. Mm-hmm. And he'll only get worse, where it's like, eventually, wouldn't that be sad if eventually just he refuses to like his books anymore because they're all fake and they can't be real?
Yeah.
Because that would be just sad. Because it's like, just because you're religious and it's true and it's not, like, real, doesn't mean you have to dislike it. Because there's nothing, like, God never said you have to dislike unreal things.
Yeah, God never said you have to, like, drop Magic the Gathering because, it's not in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's like...
I even got him to help me, like, start building a deck that I never finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we had my cards splayed out on the table and shit. And everything, and we were going through and looking for stuff. To, like, it was either make a deck better or build a new one or something. And, like... he was fine with that, but he's not okay with, like, Ezio showing respect for a corpse.
Because it's a pedophile.
Well, they're not pedophiles. They're mass murderers. But,
murderer.
Which, honestly, arguably better than
yes.
a pedophile.
Arguably, yes.
But, like, and freaking, he's like, no, Ezio's a bad person because he supports the courtesans. I'm like, I don't care. It's a story, and they're all assassins helping each other. That is literally the story of this game. Okay, it doesn't matter. Fucking get it together.
He doesn't have to be a good person.
Yeah. I don't care if he's a good person or not. I'm playing as an assassin. I literally murder people.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time running around mass murdering guards and paying attention to the story this time, because I didn't the first time I played through. And he's just not okay with that, I guess.
I don't know, man. It seems really lame.
It is really lame.
Because it's like...
Again, it makes me really depressed sometimes.
What can you talk to him about? Because it's like, you have to, like...
That's the thing, is, like, I sit there and politely listen forever with, like, his, like, oh yeah, it's Space Marines, or, like, oh, I'm reading about this ant, or, like, that one makes sense to only me, I guess, but freaking, or, like, oh, this really cool one, and it's like, I picked it back up, and it was really good, and I'm enjoying it still, and this is the lore in it, and everything. But then I'm all like, oh yeah, freaking Ezio is like, no, he's just showing respect for the dead, and this is why. And, like, it was a lesson he learned earlier in his life, and it's like, he didn't kill the leader of this guy because he's basically just a figurehead or whatever, and he's like, no, that's stupid, you should have done it anyways. Or, like, he just fucking bashes it and cuts it down or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It's like you have to tiptoe around him, you know? Like, there's... Yeah. But like the funny thing is that sometimes it works. Like sometimes he plays the game, like he plays the whatever your shit you're talking about, and he'll go with it. But sometimes he won't.
No.
And it could be two practically identical situations.
A 50-50 shot, and like again, Magic Mountain and Celeste, that's fine. He didn't have a problem with that. I'm like, no, it's a Magic Mountain. There's not like alternate universes or anything, or freaking, when you mention alternate universes in a thing, he's like, no, I hate it. Because I don't like the multiverse.
So dumb.
I'm like, okay, would you watch Rick and Morty? He's like, yeah, probably. I'm like...
They're all about that fucking shit.
Fucking get it together, dude. Fucking make up your mind. Do you like it or do you not like it? Fucking.
But he's always been like that.
Yeah, I know.
Because, like, I know he hated superheroes, but he likes Deadpool.
Well, Deadpool's nice.
But like, whenever he would... it's true. But, like, he would love to... He liked watching, like, some stuff, and then reading comics a little bit about, like, just superhero universe.
Oh, I got it.
Like, DC. Nice.
I was just pressing buttons.
But like he would never have a good reason as to why he doesn't like it. He just doesn't like it because it is what it is.
Yeah, well,
not because it's like...
That's the thing. It's the one he always gives me. He's like, I don't like Superman because he's just...
He's too good.
He's too good. He's just super broken, and that's
like,
it.
What about all
but
the
he
other
likes Saitama. He likes One Punch.
Yeah.
Freaking...
Which fucking bullshit.
He doesn't like Batman or Iron Man, but he doesn't have a problem with, I don't know, fucking Rick. Like, basically the same thing,
yeah.
Except for Rick's the illegal version.
Yeah, so it's
like,
it's like, does he even know what his own tastes are and why he has them?
I don't
like
think
what his
so.
preferences
because,
are.
like, if you like this, try this, right?
Another Deku.
And like, I've tried recommending him books before, and he's like, no, I don't like it. He didn't want to read Aragon for some reason, I think. And I'm like, okay, but you enjoyed, like, Percy Jackson, and I enjoyed Aragon because, and like, Aragon is literally like the reason Aragon is like the reason I read the Percy Jackson series, and I know you enjoyed that, and we talk about it, and he doesn't have a problem with, like, inevitably, every time I bring Percy Jackson up, he's like, no, that's a bad thing, because Pantheon is trash, and all the Romans in the...
Nice.
I didn't know that. Freaking... All the Romans and the Greek gods were fucking horrible, and all they did was have sex with each other. I'm like, okay, 1, no. 2, I don't care. We were just having a nice conversation, and you ruined it. Because, I don't know, pettiness.
Yeah, because it goes against his beliefs of some kind.
Yeah.
And even though it just takes place in a whole other universe that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, and it's just a fun story.
Or, like, I say it all
matter.
the time to him. I'm like, you can't prove that the Greek gods don't exist. He's like, you can't prove that they do. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not trying to. I'm saying you can't, so you can't say that.
But just because...
I don't say God doesn't exist because he doesn't exist. I say, I don't believe in him because, like, you can't empirically prove he can't. And I think Greek gods are way more plausible. And he's like, you can't believe in God, but you can believe in the Greek gods? I'm like, yeah, because they make more sense to me. It's like... It makes more sense, like, oh yeah, this guy is just wind. Or Zeus controls the clouds.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like they have their own things.
Like, there's a god who commands the ocean, right? Like, they're all important in different ways. I don't know which one it was. Right? And, like, they all do their own thing. Whereas God is just God, and he made everything, and you're wrong because he exists. Right?
It's weird.
Like...
But Connor also has that thing where it's like, with the whole religious situation, he was presented an option, like a possibility, and he has chosen to grasp this possibility as the one and only truth, and is now excludes all other possibilities from, like, reasonable existence because this possibility was presented to him first.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can't, like, basically, like, when he was first doing it and stuff, it's all like, oh, but, like, it makes some kind of sense because this thing, but then one of his things was like, well, then how else could it happen? It's like, well, just because I can't prove the actual reason doesn't mean the first one that showed up to you is the real one.
Right. One of the big things he has against the Big Bang, right, is, oh, but where did the life come from? There's no way anything could survive that explosion. I'm like, yeah, there is. Things do survive that kind of explosion all the time. It's bacteria. He's like, well, it couldn't come from a single-cell organism. I'm like, prove it. Fucking, yeah, it can. It happens.
Yeah,
that's how we became fish. That's how we became man.
But, like, how come, like, the life couldn't just come about after the Big Bang? You know, like, why couldn't shit just form
some
later?
Mutation could have, like, happened because, in some, like, weird rock formation.
Because, like, you brought up, like, back in the day, it was chaos theory. Shit just smashing together and fucking creating things. And that's totally a thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Elements just came together and shit made it work, and now there's life.
I don't think I can get around this.
Well, maybe you
I'm gonna
could.
go this way.
Well, you want to call the episode here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was having a good time talking to you.
I know. We can
I'm
bring it back
it's
up
just
in the next
fucking
episode.
gone. I'm like, I'm just playing this game. Sometimes I stop to rant with my hands.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this. This is great. This is a good game to just
Yeah, sit and talk about shit.
Like, and you don't even have to hear what's saying because there's only one English voice.
Yeah.
All the rest is in Russian.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
they don't say a lot.
yeah, they really don't.
Oh well. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing.
Definitely go check out our other content.
And until next time, peace out.
Bye bye.